What is up and good morning everyone, welcome back to the Resurrected Diesel channel. Happy freaking new year. Finally out of 2020, that crazy, hectic, terrible year. As you can see, the HHR is back. We put this thing all back together. A lot of stuff, you know, obviously you guys don't care too much about, but did do front brakes, pads, rotors, wheel bearings, cam sensors, some other stuff, clean it all up. This is my daily just to chill, so get the SS Mobile back. Now, what you're really here for is the Mile High Duramax build, and I do apologize in advance. We got a lot of work done while you guys weren't watching. Obviously my fault, you know, I control the videos. Come on, focus on my face. We got a lot done. We still got a lot to go. I shouldn't say a lot, stuff you've already seen before, but there's an axle under the truck. So we have the front bars made up, mocked up, axle in. We are gonna pull this out and sandblast it here probably today or tomorrow. The rear is pretty much good. Huge shout out to, let me check his Instagram, Nick_LLY, for making me the front axle truss for the Mile High Duramax. So thank you, bud, I appreciate it. Saved me some time, you know, helped me design and everything. So we're gonna get this all cut up and ready for an axle truss. Right now, Austin is welding, and what he is welding is, if you guys know or don't know or whatever, these trucks normally have a drop down for the rear mount for the lower control arms about right here. Obviously we cut all that out, we're getting rid of a solid axle swap, but what that is a cross member for structural support. So I had designed some cross members a while ago, and you know, they fit, but we ran into some issues. We were like, I did them without a motor in the truck, so like everything was cool and all on the white truck, but now, you know, we have a motor in, so we're checking clearance and everything, and now the issue we're running into is not that it hits anything, but the fact that you would never be able to take out the oil pan ever. So we had to redesign. So instead of scrapping the metal we already cut, we decided, you know, we fabricate stuff, we make stuff. So what we are currently welding up, and well, Austin is welding up, and I will show you here in a second when he's done, is a rear under engine cross member with a dropout for the oil pan that also is removable. So it'll be bolted in. So it'll be welded to the frame on both sides with a bolt-in piece underneath, kind of like the factory one. So God forbid this thing ever needs an oil pan change or service or whatever, instead of having to pull the motor or cut the cross member we put in, made it accessible. So we're welding it up right now, and you know, give you a quick look. We already cut it up and pretty much everything. Here, Austin, you know, I'm gonna mess up your mojo here for a minute, but so these are the two halves, which are probably really hot. So this sits on the frame. Here, you want to move that. Get it all. Oh boy.
You got me all messed up right
oh
now.
Boy. Uh-oh, we're in trouble now. So these are gonna get welded to the frame, and then this piece, we're a little backwards here. You don't have to put it in, but this piece will basically bolt in between it, which obviously these aren't set how they need to. It's a little bit more straight, but this goes underneath the oil pan. We'll have two bolts running through it that are drilled and ready to go. So all we need to do is we're making some finishing touches on it, and then we're gonna install it and get it welded up under here. And the reason I want to do this first before we cut out all this is so the frame doesn't tweak or anything. So we're gonna get it welded in, bolted up to the frame. It'll hold it, it'll be under. You'll have access to the oil pan, still be able to change your oil, and then we're gonna chop out this. So with the bars being made, with Nick helping us cut out or design this axle truss, we will be able to take this out, get it prepped, cut that, and there should be a last few things are a pan-hard bar mount on the frame right here to come off and hold the axle centered, and then one for the rear, and I'm actually gonna design a cross member, and then one cross member that runs in between the two cradles. And the shocks are on, or the coilovers I should say, are on their way. So with that being said, I'd like to think, oh, we have to rebuild the axles too, which Austin's buddy thankfully is gonna come help us do. I've done it before. I don't have quite all the tools and the knowledge that some other people do, so I'm gonna let people who are better than me do the things that are important. So we are going to get these axles rebuilt, everything in. And I would like to say, without jinxing anything, that maybe we can set this truck on its own weight in about 2 weeks. Well, we need to have it in 2 weeks. Hopefully next week, or in a week, or whatever. Hopefully the coilovers show up so we can actually see ride height and everything, and then we're gonna have to take it all back apart and lower it down. That way we can send it off to paint and body. So we are getting a lot done quick and fast, and sorry if I skip some things. I'll try to cover it when I pick up the camera to film, but we have a lot to do and not a lot of time. So we're definitely just kind of chipping away at this, but hopefully here soon we will have everything made up that we need. But we're gonna get back to work. I'm gonna finish making this under cross member, and when we get that in and kind of mocked up, I'll show you what it's all about. Dun, da, da. Removable oil pan cross member. So Austin got this whole thing welded in, all looking good, everything's set. Basically leads us to cutting this one out next, which we might get to today. We have gotten a lot of stuff done as far as the rear axle. It's almost, I would say, like 99% done. So Nick _LOI helped us with some of the designing on some stuff, but he gave us this file. We cut it out and we actually bent it to fit our truss that we had made. We did pull the bushings out of the rear because this axle is actually now going to powder coat. So the last things we need to weld on prior to this thing getting out and getting powder coated and getting all stripped down and everything is our sway bar link mount. So we do have to do that, but we also pulled the front axle out, and right now I'm working on this one. We're pulling the bushings out of this one because this one's about to get cut up with our plasma. Our little hand plasma. We're going to cut off what we don't need, weld on the axle trusses, which again, Nick _LOI, thank you for the files. He helped us design this stuff. We got them all cut out. We're going to get ready to weld them on. So we had to cut a few things off of this, get it all pretty much made up, weld it up. We're going to sandblast ourselves just to be, you know, kind of help the guys that powder coat out a little bit, and then we'll disassemble the whole thing. We have the new spindles and everything to go on. They're also gonna get powder coated. So once we have this thing stripped down, welded up, we're gonna fully disassemble both these axles, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, and get them ready to go to powder coat. We do need to order the powder and get everything all set up, but we will get this all taken care of. So this is kind of the main focus, is get these axles both 100% done, so that way we can actually put the truck on under its own weight. So we're not gonna powder coat everything at this moment, just the axles, because we kind of need the axles to be done to move it, and we don't want to go like 10 steps forward and take 2 steps back and then go forward and back, because we need the spindles on to measure all our drag links and everything. So if we don't have the appropriate spindles on with the high steer knuckles, we can't measure all our, you know, all our measurements and everything, because we won't know where they're at. We don't want to press ball joints into the new spindles and just throw them on the axle, because then the ball joints have to get pressed back out, sent to powder. So we're actually jumping ahead, powder coating both the axles. We're going to keep them wrapped up, finish them, put them under the truck, finish all our steering, our suspension. The coilover should be here soon too. The truck is then going to go out to paint and body work, and we didn't want to have everything powder coated, so they didn't have to worry about overspray so much. So they just have to worry about the axle, make sure not get anything on the axle. We'll wrap them up good with saran wrap while it's out there. And then once it's back from paint and body, we will fully disassemble again and get everything powder coated, and this truck should be done. We have a new drive shaft from Drivetrain Industries in, I want to say, Oklahoma. Let me double check. Yeah, Norman, Oklahoma. So Ryan over at Drivetrain Industries got us set up with a longer rear drive shaft with our yoke on it. We are going to have a front one made from him, but we're waiting for the transfer case and the axle to be set to get our measurements. So thank you to both those guys who have helped to build out greatly. But yeah, we're getting there. It's going to go quick now. So it's a lot of the thinking, a lot of the design and all that stuff is done. It's basically build time, like full on, just assemble, build, go. So working on this today. I am pulling these out. This is a 5/8 threaded rod, a little thing we made, a piece of 4-inch exhaust, and we're pulling these bushings out. So you can just tighten this down and I'll pull these out. Obviously I got to hold the other side, and that's kind of impossible holding the camera. So as you can see, we had to hit them out a little bit, but this will also help us pull the new ones in. We'll probably go to like a PVC or something piece, so that way we're not messing up the powder coat when they go back in. But other than that, we're just gonna keep getting to work on this stuff. So hopefully we can be done in a few weeks here, and then we can start on the Ford build over there that we have. We have another F100 that's getting an LS swap. We got a lot of stuff that we need to get done, so. So we have now gotten the full rear axle stripped down, torn apart. We will be doing a rebuild on this, but time consuming. We just got the sway bar links welded on. So got those bad boys on. Everything's pretty much done. So now this axle is actually going out to powder coat. Right now Austin is welding up the front truss and everything. So this axle can get stripped down tomorrow and go to powder coat. So as soon as they get back from powder coat, we can assemble them, put them under the truck, and finish working on them. So what's left for the next few projects is getting this bad boy out of here, getting the new one put in, and then you know, just getting the axle set, actually set all our measurements and everything, and then taking it, you know, building our steering and all that stuff. And then we're ready to go. Start assembling, get this thing out of here, off to paint and body, bring it back, and then yeah, final assembly after some powder coat. So it's coming along good. We have the Fox shocks in, which I don't know if I talked about yet already, but we had the factory series DSC adjustable shocks. We were just test fitting them, seeing how they were. So these things are going to be a monster. These are 14s with extended eyelet, and we got 16s for the front. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Just trying to get them out and up to you. So the next few days will probably be kind of boring, and then we'll get back to assembling and finish this thing all up. So that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a thumbs up. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, and we will see you later. I'm out.